Hey black women, I want to tell you this story that I had just seen a video about with this black woman that was assaulted, right? And she could only remember being at some place she was hanging out, having a drink, talking to some strange black dude, and then after that everything went black. And the next morning she woke up fully dressed on his bed, but she said she felt weird, right? So she left, she went to the emergency room, and the video shows her crying and stuff in the room and talking about how she feels funny. And we as women, we know that feeling. We know that feeling where like your bottom area feels like it doesn't feel normal. It doesn't feel the way it normally feels when you wake up every day and you have not been sexually engaged, right? So she's sitting there and you can see like all the worry and all of the emotions flushing through her face and whatever. And then you have this non-black aggravating fucking nurse come in, and she's agitating the woman, trying to trigger the black woman, being very passive aggressive. Every type of microaggression you can think of, she's doing it to make the black woman upset, begin to yell and scream and want to physically attack her, right? So as that nurse is continuing to do that, another nurse comes in, the SANE nurse, right? SANE is an acronym, SANE, and it literally stands for Sexually Assaulted Nurse Examiner. So years ago, when women were assaulted, right, the police, because I'm a former New York City police officer, right? So when I was a cop, when I would come across women that were literally sexually assaulted, there was a thing that we carried in our car called a Vitulo kit, and it's a rape examination kit. However, since the 90s and early 2000s, which is when I worked as a New York City police officer, right, things have changed, not only in my state, but every other state in the country. So now they have people called SANE nurses, right, who are basically like examiners and also / advocates for women or anybody, even children, old people, men, etc., who have been disabled, who have been assaulted, sexually assaulted. So when the woman comes in, she does explain who she is, which I thought was like brilliant, because I had never seen anybody post that, and to to show the authenticity of the situation. And it just brought back so many memories. And I was thinking about a couple of women that I had actually had to deal with and how tragic their stories were. But let me get past that, because I'm starting to get emotional again, right? But anyway, when the SANE nurse came in, it made the whole environment better. The whole dynamics of the situation, even the atmosphere in the room completely changed, which is what they do, right? So I felt better in watching the video, because when I was watching it with just the regular nurse coming in trying to attack this woman, and for us black women, I take that kind of shit personally, because every time we go anywhere where it concerns our physical health, or we have to do prep for surgery, or we're trying to deliver a baby, or we're dealing with a autoimmune problem, people just like treat us like we're supposed to suffer worse than anybody imaginable. And if that person who's fucking with us at the time has their way, they're gonna make our experience as horrific as possible. And that's what that nurse was doing to this woman again. And we've seen this so many times this year. Like when I was watching this video of this woman sexually assaulted, threw my mind back to the black woman that went viral. Well, at least one of the black women that went viral, when she went to the emergency room and she was fully in labor, sitting in a wheelchair in a triage area, and instead of this nurse, this white nurse, wheeling her into the ER for her delivery, she's literally trying to process her fucking insurance. And it's all types of ignorant shit like that. And then you had the other woman where she was in full-blown labor, and they refused to admit her into the ER so that she could deliver. They sent her away. She ended up having her baby in the backseat of a cab. Anyway, that kind of shit just, oh my God, it aggravates my nervous system. It makes me so angry. So anyway, to get back to it, the SANE nurse explained her role, the different types of examinations that she could do, which is really cool, because when you're scared and you really don't know what's happening, if somebody takes the time to explain the steps in the process, it really makes you relax, and it puts your mind more at ease than being tense and all chaotic because you don't know what's happening next, right? So just for your own information, for y'all to know, if ever, God forbid, this never happens to you, right? But if you're dealing with anybody or even yourself that is assaulted, when they do the examination, you could either do it with the speculum or you could do it with the swabs. I would suggest the swabs. The swabs are easier unless it's something more intense and you need the speculum, but they will give you a choice and they will talk you and walk you through it. It's good also to know that after or during that exam with the SANE nurse, you should see a assault advocate. Those are two different people, but they both run along the lines of social work in hospital management, because one is an actual nurse whose job is to perform independently of the hospital sexual assault examinations, right? That's what the SANE nurse does. And then the assault advocate is kind of like a victim services person, where they come and they provide you with all types of referrals, tell you about rights you didn't know you had. They hook you up with other agencies to get whatever it is that is specific to your situation handled, so that you could rebound from that situation intact. They work together. The SANE nurse and the assault advocate, they work together to try to make the victim whole again, mind, body, and soul. Okay, so like, just seeing that video just like fuck with me so badly. I wanted to come and just put that out here into TikTok, because I know sometimes with all the things that happen in Black women's lives, we don't know a lot of places to turn for support, help, information, advocacy, and just somebody to listen to what the hell you're talking about, right? So you have two people who literally do that for you in the hospital. You have the assault advocate and you have the SANE nurse. I'm going to repeat this because this is important. The SANE nurse works independently of the hospital. She's not part of the normal hospital staff. And also, this is important, I forgot to mention this. The tests that you do with that nurse, whatever they may be, as many as they may be, they are free of charge to you. That is the service that comes with that nurse. The same thing with the assault advocate. Anything that she refers you to, any community resource, or any program or service you get enrolled in or you take advantage of, or that it is offered to you from that assault advocate, all these things are free of cost to you. There's no charge. This is all part of the whole package under victim services. Okay? So I just wanted to let you guys know that. Now, the acronym SANE may be different in your state, but reach out to your information operator or your city council or the hospital management itself, the social service unit, to find out if they have a SANE nurse. If they don't, do they have something similar? Get the contact information, go online, find out as much as you can, get all the services you need to get your life back on track and to get your mental stable, your emotions dealt with, and learning new coping skills. Okay, this is very important. All right, so I just wanted to share that with y'all because I really cannot tell you how emotional that video made me, because I had all these people that I hadn't thought about in years rush back into my brain. And I mean, the gambit of the victims of sexual assault as a police officer is insane. I mean, I had dealt with everything from babies all the way up to old people, to animals. It's a lot, man. It's a lot. And some of the ones that I would frequently get would be the women that was involved in, you know, sex work and stuff like that. And some of the things that used to happen to them was so brutal and just so inhumane. Is insane. And watching that video rushed all that stuff that was dormant in my head right back to the front. So I had to come share that with y'all because I don't like people feeling helpless and hopeless. That really makes me angry. So I wanted to just come and give some information and let you know that there are avenues of support. Be well. Be well.